Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's Got It. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to another episode of The Mom Game. Happy 2022. This is our first time back in studio in the new year. Episode 96, I do believe. Sure. 96. I've got it written down.
We are creeping up.
We are. And we're going to start celebrating the new year.
Yay!
By
It's been a while since we've been in studio, and it's been a while since we've done a show where we were boozing.
Yeah.
And we felt like that little piece might have been missing a little bit lately.
Well, I mean, it's a new year. We should celebrate. We have some new sponsors.
We do.
We have a new, we're part of a new family. It's not really a new family, but we're going to get to all that. We've got a lot to celebrate.
I know. It feels.
So here we go.
It feels real good.
Oh.
Are you good at this? It always scares me.
Okay. Does it?
Yes. I can't even open biscuits.
So I can't even open biscuits.
I get like so scared about sudden pops.
Really?
Yeah.
Hattie, my 8-year-old daughter, knows how to open a bottle of champagne.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be proud or
That's awesome.
terrified.
She's not scared?
She is not scared. She thinks it's very cool. And my mom has like arthritis in her hands, so she can't open it. So over the holidays, Nana was like, Hattie, can you open this bottle of champagne for me?
Train them up good.
And what do you know?
What do you know?
She's just like her mom.
You know what's funny is over Christmas, thank you, we trained my 18-year-old stepson how to open champagne on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So we both trained our children how to open champagne. Granted, mine was 18.
One is 8, one is 18. It's very minor
But he's my
detail.
stepson, so it might even out because I'm not supposed to do things like that, I don't think, because he's not like my full kid.
Yeah, but he's your half kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryder will be trained at 10.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
Cheers
to 2022, new year.
2022.
We're drinking out of our fancy, you can't see, but they're fancy. Oh yeah, you can kind of see. Mom Game wine glasses.
They're beautiful.
These will soon be available for purchase on our website. Lots of cool stuff coming. Okay, so let's
And we have a lot.
Let's
to
drink and catch up. First of all, you look so pretty. You have makeup on, your hair's curled.
Thank you. Well, we talked about how we haven't been in studio in a while, and I feel like I haven't had like reason to get dressed up nice for a while either. So I kind of use this as an excuse to like, pick out a cute shirt and shower. I mean, I always shower, but then I'll throw my wet hair up and just go on with my day.
Today is the first day that I have, blow dried my hair.
Blew it dry.
Whatever. It's in quite a while. And I would say I was wearing pants that aren't yoga pants, but these are kind of like glorified yoga pants.
I'm still in my Lululemon.
You are?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not getting crazy here.
Yeah, pleather. I'm wearing pleather leggings. So I can't remember the last time I wore something that had a button. But anyway, because we had the COVID, we had the Rona at our house.
Yeah, you did.
My first
you have
run
a good excuse.
was my first run in with the Rona.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
So, I've always maintained, and people probably, yell at me for this or whatever, but I was like, look, we're not going to test unless somebody has something other than, the sniffles and a cough.
Yeah.
We weren't about.
Or if you're like exposed, right?
Right. Or if I don't even know. I think then I would still wait out my symptoms.
Yeah.
It's just, anyway.
Everybody, whatever. Yeah.
Everyone deals with it their own way. To each his own, whatever. So Patty and I had a cough for, we're like 10 days, like just a nagging cough. Both felt perfectly fine. Never thought anything of it. And then the day the kids went back to school, the day before that, I kind of started, but the cough kind of got a little bit worse. And then the day the kids went back to school, I really started feeling kind of like puny, achy, whatever. And then the school calls and is like, hey, Henry just came in. He's not feeling good, which he told me he didn't feel good before school. But I said, if you don't feel good, you don't need to go to school.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I think I'm just tired. And I was like, okay. First day back after winter break,
Everyone was tired.
Not normal to be tired. So then the school nurse calls and she's like, it says he's not feeling good, but I think he's fine. I sent him back to class. No worries. Well, so then my wheels start turning and I'm like, oh shit, if he's got it, if I've got it, last thing we want to do is take it to school, for fuck's sake. Like, just don't be an a-hole, which I was trying not to do. So then my wheels start turning. Getting into tests takes a long time. It's hard to find. So I had a girlfriend who had told me that she had some at-home tests. And I'm like, hey, text her. I'm like, hey, do you still have any of those at-home tests? She's like, yes, Matt will bring one over. So he dropped it by. So I take it and it's, positive. Like you can, here's
like
the line.
Punches you in the face.
Oh, it was like,
you're positive, you dumbass. That's what the test says.
It absolutely said it. Like, you're an effing idiot. Yeah, of course you have COVID. And so I call the school nurse back and I'm like, hey, Melanie, it's Emily McCoy. She's like, don't tell me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I didn't think. And I was like, she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I just took an at-home test, found one and took it. And she's like, it's no worries, whatever. And so at that point in time, it was, 2:30, the kids were getting out of school. So they come home and I'm like, Mom's got the Rona. And they're like, oh man, Mom. Like,
they're mad at you.
Like pissed. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
I can't go to sports. I can't play.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to be stuck with you for another. So of course
this was right after break when you had a lot of family time.
Yeah. And then, so again, if everyone thinks I'm crazy for this too. So I tell my husband, I'm like, dude, if you don't have symptoms, like go somewhere.
GTFO.
Right. Because, and people are like, God, he let him go to a hotel. And I'm like, I love my husband. I don't want to be stuck in a house with him and our children for 5 straight days where we can't leave.
Just weird. And we're trying not to see each other and touch each other or whatever.
Right. Well,
and if he's doesn't have the symptoms, it's like spare him.
And let me be also too, I guess, selfish. Like, the man needs to keep working. Like, we're building a house. We need bills need to get paid. Right. So go on to work.
You can't take 10 days off watching Netflix.
Right. So I'm like, to me, that's a no-brainer. But like, all my girlfriends are like, really? So what's, and I'm like, well, this is what works for our family.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another topic I feel like we need to discuss about how different families are.
Yeah.
Like, and our family is not a 24/7, 365 kind of family. Like, we cannot operate that way. And the last 2 years is the closest we've come to that. And it freaks me the hell out. Like,
some people do that, huh?
Oh yeah,
Some people are like hardcore.
Yeah. Hardcore. And which is great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We just have never known that. I have traveled since the, moment Mike and I met, had kids, all that kind of stuff. That's never, that hasn't changed. Anyway, so we get the COVID. Henry ends up getting it. I can tell. I never tested him, but I know he got it because he had all the symptoms and
you had it.
And I had it. And so anyway, but it was like 2 days. It really sucked. And then I lost my sense of taste and smell. And I thought it was the weirdest thing. I know. And it just brought a whole new meaning to the phrase, your shit doesn't stink. Because my shit didn't stink. It was.
But no. It did.
But it did, just not to me. And this makes you so uncomfortable.
Just to pull back the curtain here and why I'm already getting the sweats. It's because I knew she was going to talk about how she couldn't smell her poop.
Right.
Because we were texting and that was one of the funniest texting nights I've had in a while. Because I think we both had a little vino and you were explaining what all you were dealing with.
Yes. And when you're sick and taking medicine, 1 glass of wine and you're like, woo, I feel amazing.
Well,
Let's talk about my shit not smelling.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so you couldn't taste the wine either.
I could faintly taste certain things.
Yeah.
But I would stick my nose, I'd get my perfume bottle out and be like, Like I'm like wanting to smell something.
Am I alive?
I dug my nose into a candle. I could smell it. But that went away, and I thought, I feel so sorry.
It's really weird
for people who that's a long-term effect of that. And then I've heard people like shit tastes like metal, like not actual shit, but like water tastes like metal, like all these ridiculous, crazy things that happen as a result of this ridiculous
it's so weird.
virus.
It's so weird. Yeah, when I had it like a year ago, last Christmas, I had it like we talked about on the show. And I feel like the losing your taste and your smell was the worst part.
Oh, it's awful.
In a way, because when you're feeling shitty and you're like sad and you're in your sweats and you're in your house and you're like, woe is me. Like the one thing you can still do is like go eat some like chocolate or popcorn for me or pour a cup of coffee and just sit there. It's like, you can't taste any of it. You're just sitting there in your misery and there's nothing that can make you feel better, you know, like besides medicine.
It's so
crazy.
Weird.
It's crazy. And now, you know, I just go back to like a few weeks ago when we were like almost not us, but like everybody was like almost celebrating, like, woohoo, we made it through. Like, let's all like go to concerts and like book our trips and like go on with our damn lives. And now it's back rearing its ugly head. And it's, to me, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I can do a pretty good job, like avoiding large crowds. That's not, you know, but other than that, it's like, you know, I'm not going to like tell my kids they can't go to sports or do their play dates, or I'm not going to go, you know, to something that I feel like is important to me, but I'm just like crossing fingers that schools can remain open. Because once schools shut down, parents can't be productive, right?
Right.
And then that's where like a whole domino effect, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I just think, you know, and I've said this kind of from the beginning, like once we came out of like the hardcore stuff, I was like, look, I'm just going to live my life the way I would normally live it. And if it happens, knowing the risk that I'm taking. Yeah. And if it happens, pray that, you know, everything works out okay. But I will say, after having gone through it, and this will be, I'm sure, a hot sports opinion.
It's fine. Everyone's going to have them, right?
But after getting it,
no one's going to agree.
I'm not going to get my booster, which I'm double vaccinated, but I have not got the booster unless I have to for work. And then I will. It's like, okay, you want me to get it, I'll get it. But I'm not rushing out to get it. I was actually gonna get it that Monday before I got sick, but I had that cough and I was like, probably not a good idea to get it right. So now that I'm on the other side of it, I think probably I will not get the booster. And I also don't think I'm gonna vaccinate my kids. Okay. Just because I've seen how they've come out on the other side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
you know, and I understand why people want to, but
makes their own decisions about that.
That's just my thing. And I realize that medical professionals tell me that otherwise, and I think I'm just going to ride it out for a while. I don't know. So anyway.
Yeah. So they were okay. They were okay with the sickness.
Oh yeah. And Henry's symptoms were pretty much, he was just tired. Like he never really got a huge like congestion stuff. He had a fever one day for like a few hours and that was it.
Yeah. So I got my booster right before I feel like this Omicron really started taking off. And like, I'm usually not good at timing things or not lucky or anything, but I'm like, I'm so glad I got it. I feel like I got it right before it got really bad, and knock on wood, I haven't gotten it. So I'm hoping that proximity to when it really started getting widespread. I know you can still get it with your booster. I know that.
Yeah. My sister-in-law is the one we think gave it to us, and she had her booster like 2 weeks before. So it's just there.
But I'm going to say that I'm thinking it's helping a little bit.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But also, I tried to get vaccinated because, you know, for me, like we all have our own, whatever. I feel like it's one extra layer of protection. And if that can be one little extra bit, that makes a difference. With him not getting this disease, because we don't know what will happen with it in the future and all of that. If it has long-term effects, that kind of thing. I'm like, if I can give him a little bit of protection, I'm going to, but dude won't take a shot.
No, he won't.
Oh my God. I haven't been that mad at my child in such a long time. And I need, if you're listening and you have tips besides bribery, and iPad. So I bribed him with the iPad. We said we would take him to Target afterwards and go get whatever he wants. I mean, I'd put like a $20 limit on it because budget.
So he just like throws a fit?
Oh my God. He's so scared, Emily. And he was the same way with the COVID tests, the swabs. He can't handle it. And for me, I feel like it's a little bit of and I don't know if maybe other people are like dealing with this a little bit with their kids, but I feel like it's a little bit of the anxiety of hearing about this COVID thing for 2 years and having to wear masks and having everyone talking about it and saying you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, some people aren't even going to school, blah, blah, blah. And then it like all comes to a head in the form of a needle. Like, that's how I feel. And
I don't think that's a bad.
And so like, and so we made the appointment. I had Kelly with me. I was like locked and loaded. I was like, okay, this one's going to work. Cause I know he has this like fear of shots. And the nurse, once she got it out, it's like the second he sees it, he just like curls up, runs away, starts crying, literally goes and hides in the corner of the doctor's office and cries and is like kicking and screaming. Like, so we would have had to like hold him down. And at that point it was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. You know, like, this isn't life or death, but I do want to try again with him. But it's just like, oh my God, I was so mad. Because it's, you know, the doctor's sitting there trying to do it. The nurse is trying to do it. You're wasting people's time, everything else.
Hattie did this with her ears pierced at Target.
Oh, you got so mad too.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It's like there's all these people trying to help you.
Right. And then there are people waiting and you're like, as a parent, like breaking out in hives.
Yes.
And I mean, we went through and she'd be like, no, like she'd be like, okay. And they come, she'd be like, no. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
This is exactly what Ryder did.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
At least, I mean, but this was like her idea. She wanted to get her ears pierced.
She thought she was ready. She thought she could handle it. Has she since?
No, she got her ears pierced when she was like 3. And then they like got infected and we had to take them out and let them grow back in. She thought she was ready. We went with 2 older girls. They did it like no problem. And then she gets in there and it was a 25-minute like back and forth. And I literally was like sweating because I was having like social anxiety disorder.
It's the same.
And we were in the middle of an effing Target. In the middle of a Target.
Yeah.
They have those little things set up. Like they have an ear piercing station set up in the middle of Target.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Wheels off.
Well, yeah, mine was the same. I was so mad I forgot Anna. Like,
where?
Like at the doctor. I mean, I came back, I realized, but I was like, Anna was standing there and she was kind of like freaking out because he was freaking out. And I grabbed Ryder. I like paid. I was just like, we're leaving, you know, because I was just.
Where were you? At the doctor's office?
I was checking out and she like went to go like look at something on the wall and I just grabbed Ryder. Kelly had already walked out. So I'm like, just walk out with Ryder and I get all the way out there and I'm like, damn it, where's Anna? And then Kelly's like, I don't know, Jules, I don't have her. I was like, damn it. I left her in the doctor's office. So I go back and she's just like, Mommy. And they're all kind of like, wait, your daughter. I'm like, sorry. It was just the like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't believe that
I remember when Hattie and I left that Target, I was like, well, you can get your ears pierced when you're 18 and that's $70. You won't be getting an allowance for the next 7 weeks. Because that's how much it costs. And I can't get my money back because once they open those earrings and put them in that little gun, they're not sterile anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I had them and she was like, I like threw them in the trash on the way out of Target. And she's like, what did you do with those? I'm like, they're no good.
They're in the trash. They're in the
trash. Yeah.
Yes.
And you owe me $70. And you can get your ears pierced when you're 18.
That's what I kept saying. That's what I kept
I got
saying.
home and Mike was like, what happened?
I was
and I'm
like, embarrassing.
I can't even speak.
Yeah.
I was so... And of course, Mike's like, oh, my baby girl. And I'm like, your fucking baby girl almost gave me a coronary in the middle of a Target because I'm so livid.
Why do these children do this to us? They like brought out this terrible, like harsh side of me. It was just like, he's scared. Okay. He didn't do anything terrible. He's just scared.
I know.
But I was like, no, just want you to get this shot and like move on so we can feel better about everything. So
yeah,
we're going to be trying again someday.
Good luck on that ice.
Yeah,
okay. You have a puppy.
I have a puppy.
How's that working out?
I have a puppy. I'm learning that I know nothing about having a dog, right?
Yeah.
Which we knew. This is new for me. So I feel like puppies for dummies or something over here. I'm like, I'm learning. I'm watching all the like YouTube videos about how to train.
YouTube videos.
And then I like take bits and pieces of it. And I'm like, okay, I think I can wrap my head around that. But it's like,
what are you learning from YouTube videos?
There's like trainers on there. Then they do their whole like training courses.
What are you learning?
How to train. Okay, so this breed of dog.
Remind us what it is.
Shepherd. She's an Australian Shepherd. People who are listening who maybe have one, they're like, oh, I know what you're talking about. They're a little bit cray-cray. They're crazy, but they're smart and they're loyal and they're like awesome dogs.
Sounds just like me.
Cray, smart,
crazy, smart,
loyal, and an awesome dog. That's Emily Jones for you.
Nailed it.
We're all a little cray. That's why I felt like I could handle it. I'm like, you know what? Life is crazy anyway. So I think there's just kind of a lot of work up front. And so everything I'm reading is like, you have to establish yourself as a good canine leader.
Okay.
So that's what I'm
Meanwhile,
working on.
I see pictures of her like riding in the back of the car in
Is
a
that not
booster
good?
seat.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
she liked it. I'm
Yeah.
like, so that's another
what
thing.
if you like slam on the brakes and she goes plummeting into the
happened.
floorboard?
She scratched my seat a little bit today because she like flew off. I mean, I only do it to take Anna to school. It's like a 5-minute drive.
Okay.
But that's one of the things. So like, that's another example. So I had to take her to the vet and I'm like, all right, okay, now how do we do this? How do you take a dog to the vet? Like, do I need a carrier? I'm used to cats. Like, what do you do? Do you just put them in your car? Do you have a dog little taxi thing? So I texted my neighbor who has 2 boxers, like you.
Okay. And I only have 1 boxer.
I know.
now.
I'm sorry to bring that up. And we can talk about that too, because we haven't even talked about that.
I know.
And the juxtaposition of your dog dying and me getting a puppy was really terrible.
I know. Okay, finish.
So anyway, I texted my neighbor that has 2 boxers. I'm like, hey, quick question. How do you travel with a dog? Like, I just don't know, you know? And she's like, well, I blah, 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 blah. So I feel like I'm hitting those little, like, those bumps in the road, like, all the time. I got her a collar. The collar was too big. So I took her to the store and I said, I don't think this collar fits. Like, what should I do? And they said, no. That collar's not good. Like, she's too little, like, bubble out. She needs this harness thing. So I was okay, I'll get a harness. So I get home and I'm like, I'm going to try to take you on a walk or like teach you how to walk. And then I look at the harness. I'm like, how the F do I put this on?
Yeah.
It's like all the baby Bjorn shit that I never figured out. And like the swaddles, I never did any of that because Emily, I could not figure any of them out. I tried so hard to swaddle my children and it was always like, Kelly was the only person that could do any of this shit.
Dude, I used to wrap the tightest fucking burritos. Like my kids were like, it's a wonder that like circulation didn't cut off.
So
I had this whole thing. And,
it doesn't surprise me that like you were really good at swaddling and I couldn't figure it fucking out.
So, okay. So
I don't know. I couldn't figure out the harness. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, and, you know, you're trying to look like I'm trying to fit in with like all the dog people on my street.
Oh yeah.
But like, I'm not, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm like Googling like how to put a harness on.
Oh,
like while I'm like, while the dog's running around, I'm like, okay.
How to catch a dog.
Okay. Got the harness on. Well, I think this is right. Okay. Now how do I take my dog on a walk?
God bless you.
And I'm coming clean with this all.
I guess that's.
So don't ridicule me.
I'm not.
I'm being honest. I'm trying.
Right.
I'm learning. I don't walk cats.
Right.
I don't like travel with cats outside of like a cat carrier. But the other thing is like, okay, so like all the poop, right? And the pee, like there's a lot of messes you have to clean up. You obviously pick up. I know. I've learned. You pick up your poop every time you're outside, like immediately.
Immediately.
Right? Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If you forget a bag, you better like mark that shit and come back.
Because it's hard to find.
Yes.
The shit is like
all
camouflage.
I mean, I know
there.
sometimes like if I'll forget a poop bag or something and then the dog goes and then I'm like looking around to see if anyone,
yes.
like if anyone sees, I'm like looking in people's houses, like, is anybody looking out the window?
And then sometimes
like, you don't ever want to be that person. And I get so mad.
I know.
There's a thing of poop in front of my mailbox right now. And I am so pissed. I want to post something on our neighborhood Facebook page.
Next door.
But I feel like
Do you have a next door? Because that's
we don't
what
have
it's
a next
for.
door. We have Facebook page though. But I feel like I would look like the crazy anal OCD lady.
Can you do it anonymously?
No.
Oh, well, and if you say where it is.
Right. But I'm like, who doesn't pick up their dog shit? Like, what's wrong with you?
Maybe they just
But there's a lot.
Maybe they couldn't find it.
Well.
I'm trying. I know because I've never had a dog, right? So anybody's dog shit that's in my yard, I know isn't mine.
Right.
So I've been annoyed by that for
it's
a long
super
time.
annoying.
Yeah, and my kids play outside and all that. So I'm trying to be really diligent about that. We take her out in the back as much as we can, but there's like no light out there once it's dark outside. So I take her out front when I have to. But yeah, the taking out in the middle of the night, like I've been caught so many times, like in my jammies, like going outside at 4 a.m. with like barefoot. And I'm like, I could catch like a murderer, or not a murderer. I'm not going to go that far, but like I could catch a robber right now. That's when people do bad things at night.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in the front yard and I'm like,
looking around.
yeah, I'm like, who's out there with my little puppy? I'm like, I'm going to catch a robber.
This is so interesting.
I know. This is all the stuff that goes on in my brain.
Yeah, that's.
But I'm just not used to like waking up and going outside. It's like one thing to wake up and pee, but then to like go outside at 4 a.m. to let your dog pee. This is all new to me.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I know. So my kids are wanting another dog because we lost our sweet Griffey. Yeah, and that was a hard decision to make. That
was so abrupt and terrible.
It was. So we found out that Griffey had a tumor wrapped around his spine after a $4,000 MRI.
Oh my goodness.
Dude. Anyway, but you have to, I mean, we wanted to know what was wrong. He was not right. We wanted to figure out what it was. If we could do something about it, then we would. There wasn't anything we could do about it. So we just made him comfortable as we could for the last, few weeks of his life. And the kids did not take it well. And then, they're like, how will we know when it's time? And I'm like, we will know when it's time. And I said that having zero confidence in what I was saying.
Yeah.
But it was so apparent. He literally woke up one day, could barely walk to his food, took like 2 bites, went outside, and then didn't move the rest of the day. Like came back inside, didn't move the rest of the day. And I was like, he cannot get. So we knew it was the right thing to do.
You're like, this dog.
And sweet Henry stayed in the room with me. Mike went. We all went. Hattie did not want to go. And Mike and Henry and I went, and Mike was like, I don't want to be in here when it happens. And Henry was like, I'll stay in here with you, Mom.
Oh.
And so we were there, and it was very peaceful.
Oh my goodness.
And that's such a hard thing. And our vet was so great. And then a week after, he sent me Griffey's paw prints, on a little note.
We got that for Blueberry too.
I know. So anyway, it's so hard. But this is the hard shit as parents, right?
Yeah.
Like, we dealt with the death of my dad, and you dealt with the death of, the animals, and it's so hard when it's like, fuck, I'm supposed to be the one that's keeping this together.
Crying.
Yeah. And it's just so hard. And I'm like, am I grown up enough to do this? Like,
I know.
Sometimes I'm like,
but I think kids probably understand that death is something that is like hard for everybody. It's not a mommy daddy kid thing.
Right. And you don't know how to do it. You don't know what to do. There's no YouTube video to get it. And so you just kind of figure it out and do what you think is best. And it sucks being a grown up sometimes.
It does.
Like it just sucks. But
so were they like depressed?
They were very sad, and Izzy is very sad. And so we're just all learning, we're just getting used to it.
That's the hardest part is when you walk around your house and you're like,
I know. Cause Griffey followed me around everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And so it is hard and it sucks, but that going into it as a dog parent or cat parent that most likely this thing is gonna, they don't last long enough.
No, well, I'm sorry. Cheers to
Griffey.
Cheers to Griffey. You're a good boy.
Okay, yes, my good boy. Okay, I want to talk about.
Wait, let me tell my death story real quick.
Oh, okay. Tell your death story.
Sorry, that came out really weird.
Before you go any further, let me tell my death story.
Well, I tweeted about this because I was going to say, as a follow-up, Anna, like my kids have had to deal with the death of a grandparent and a cat now in their short little lives.
Yeah.
And so I think that Anna, especially because she's only 3.5, she thinks that like everything dies like pretty quickly. Oh. Like, and so I tweeted about this because it was one of the like weirder / funnier things that she said.
Oh, I saw this. Okay.
And she's continued on this path. I'm like, what in the world? So I took her to gymnastics, and she's really funny at gymnastics. She like has so much energy. She kind of goes nuts. I think she's so excited to like be there doing something. And I sit and I watch the whole thing. And so a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting there watching, and she runs off like she's got something real important to tell me. And she's like, Mommy. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I want to give you a hug. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. She goes, as she's giving me a hug, I want to keep you forever. I was like, oh my God, I want to keep you forever. She goes, but I'm not, because you're going to die.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that.
I was like, well,
Stark reminder, Anna.
you are exactly right. Let's hope it's not for a while, but that's true. And so she keeps saying that. Like when we got Belle, she's like, I love Belle and I'm going to love her forever, but she's going to die.
Oh, no.
So that's what I'm working with. It's like at that age, I'm like, no. Yes, people die, but it's going to be a long time.
Right.
So you want to enjoy every minute.
Yes.
That you have with all of these people. But that one like really killed me because it was like such a little roller coaster ride in the matter of
love you.
In a matter of 1 minute.
Love you.
And I'm sitting there like I don't really know anybody, around to be like, this is what my daughter just said. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there like dealing with it, internalizing it all like this girl's crazy.
Love you so much.
Love you so much.
Sucks you're gonna die.
Yeah, I know. And then she took a Band-Aid off and put it in her mouth during gymnastics and came and gave it to me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and she also thinks she's a puppy now because we have a puppy. She's a nut. Okay, where were we going before my death story?
Well, thank you for the death story.
You're welcome.
So I wanted a couple of things we're really excited about. So we've been at Vocals since we started the Mom Game.
Yeah.
But we are now like part of the Vocal family.
We are.
And we're so excited about, kind of what we've got coming, which all will be, kind of rolled out this year. And we're super stoked about that, but we're here to stay, and we're excited about the partnership now that we have with Vocal, and super stoked about all the things that are coming for us.
Yeah,
and so
and we can detail that more down the road
for
and
sure.
like how people can
and
involved.
we'll see. Yeah. And we'll people, our audience will start to see some new cooler things that we're rolling out, and we're super, super stoked about that. So to John and Ren and Ted and Mark, we couldn't be more thrilled to be in bed with you guys.
Well, she went there. There's other ways to say that, especially when you're talking to men. They're going to call HR. We're new here, but
totally
inappropriate. We call HR?
Totally inappropriate. But yes, we're super stoked to be a part of the Vocal family. I know that was really bad.
No, it's fine.
Okay, and. Cheers, we have a new
sponsor.
And it couldn't be more
perfect.
Fitting.
More fitting for us.
Yeah.
So we're cheersing because we like wine, and we've all been in that position. I know I have, Emily, where you're sitting there, and I've actually even tweeted about this before. When you're sitting there and you're alone with the kids, you put them to bed, you get through the night, there's no other spouse there to stay while you go run an errand, right? And you're sitting there, you're like, damn it, I don't have any wine.
Right.
It's like one of the worst problems.
Or tequila.
Vodka or tequila if you're on a diet.
Or beer.
When I'm on a diet, I drink liquor instead of wine.
Makes perfect sense.
Yes. I'm never going to alleviate it all because that sounds terrible.
Right. It sounds awful.
Yes. So if you ever find yourself in this predicament or not, or if you just obviously have a lot to do as a busy mom and you want someone to take care of the wine, liquor, booze delivery for you, we have a new partner we're so excited to tell you about, and it is Bottle Rover. Bottle Rover is your go-to delivery app. We're always on our phone anyway, so while you're listening, why not download this Bottle Rover app? They will make it easier than ever to search for your favorite liquor, beer, or wine on demand based on your location. So they will find what it is that you're looking for. They will see where it is that it can be purchased near you, and they will make it happen. It will arrive at your door very quickly. And right now, this is awesome too, because a lot of times you get involved with these apps and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do DoorDash. I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. And then there's like a $7 service charge. And at the end of the day, you've like paid a lot more money to have this delivered to your door. You don't have to worry about that with Bottle Rover because they are offering free delivery on all orders over $35, which is like super easy to hit. Grab yourself a couple bottles of wine or one big old jug of tequila.
Big
for your ranch water.
Tequila. When you're on that ranch water diet.
That's my diet.
Yeah.
Bottle Rover is a Dallas-based, which is awesome, alcohol delivery platform that offers free delivery on all orders over $35. Like I just mentioned, we love when these partnerships happen organically. The owner there, Corey, the CEO,
played baseball at Tech. So we're on the conference call.
He's a sports dude.
Yeah, he's like, hey, don't know if you were, and I didn't even pay attention to his last name. I just was like, oh, Corey from Bottle Rover. And then we get on the call, and He's like, I played and when you were working in
Isn't that
Lubbock, and I
cool?
was like, oh my God, Corey Gersner. I totally know who that
Yes,
is.
and so he's somebody that saw a problem out there and thought, how can I fix this? And what kind of business can I create to solve this problem? And I think this is brilliant. I love that it's local too. And like Emily just said, the owner, the company is great. They're good people. They're free delivery, all orders over $35. I'm nailing that down because that's very important. Shop your favorite local liquor stores through Bottle Rover, the alcohol on demand platform that is our new best friends here on the Mom Game. So I know that's what I'm going to be doing. Kelly's about to leave for like three days, something like that. And so you figure out all the shit that you have to do before they leave, and you got to get like fruit for my kids. I got to get them stuff to pack lunches, but it's not like I'm going to the liquor store when I have 30 minutes.
Right.
So that's why I find myself in that bind a lot. And I'm excited to now know about Bottle Rover, and we're super pumped for them to be a partner with us here on the Mom Game.
Absolutely. Okay. Speaking of new year, new things, new partnerships, do you do the resolution thing?
Sort of.
You do?
I mean, it's not organized, as you can imagine. Like, I just think of things that I want to work on along the way.
Okay.
And I kind of have them in mind.
You do?
Yeah.
You want to share them?
Well, one, I feel like general health, right? That's something that now that I have more time, now that I like ditched the day job and we're doing this, which is wonderful. It's like I can really focus on exercising more, and I don't have as many excuses, and then eating better. And I'm really trying to do more veggies. Love more veggies. I got the Defined Dish cookbook, so I can do a little bit more like cooking at home, trying to do like mom things that I'm not good at, like feeding my family healthy stuff. That's not like dino freaking nuggets, which I feel like is even one of my like second tier meals is dino nuggets. Like bottom tier is just like
so bad at cooking.
Oh my God, I'm so bad at cooking. And then you've got to have all the groceries ready. The other morning, yesterday, I gave Ryder a roll with butter for breakfast because that's like all I had.
Oh, Hattie will eat lasagna.
Breakfast?
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
isn't the point that we get food in
it's
them?
healthier than Fruit Loops. Yeah. Like, I mean,
well,
not
and more filling.
Right. I'm like, she's like, can I have the lasagna? I'm like, sure, I don't care.
I know. I never know when to say like, no, I'm saying the right mom thing, and no.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some more cooking.
Yeah.
I know. My poor husband and family, but I just don't. I enjoy it. I think we've talked about this. I enjoy it when I have time, and like I can pour a glass of wine, and like, but I never feel like that's the case.
Right.
That's why I only relax when I've done everything for the day and my kids are in bed, or when I'm on vacation. Mm-hmm. Because if it's like daylight at my house, like I feel like there's shit I need to be doing.
Yeah.
That's
why working from home is hard.
It is.
Because you get distracted by all the stuff. Like I could do laundry for days. I could spend like 2 hours a day doing.
If you just did one.
I know. If
you just did one load a day.
But that sounds like a lot too.
It's so, if you just do one load a day.
Been like, just
like you just throw everything I do. I'm like,
but then
lights, colors, lights, darks, who cares?
Yeah.
Like just
that's
throw it all in there.
Daily task though.
Put it on cold, and then, but God, it makes things.
I know.
Much easier.
I need to try. But yeah, that like the overall health thing, probably trying to be more organized. I mean, I'm bad at a lot of shit, but the other thing is like really, and I haven't talked about this much on the show, but down the road when we talk about like what we want to do next in the next year, something I want to focus on is like maybe trying to find more of a charity partner to work with the Mom Game. And we'll talk about that later when we have our meeting of the minds with some of our people. But my dad has Alzheimer's, and I just barely am involved and get to see him, and it kills me. But he's all the way down in Corpus Christi living with his mom, who's 95, 6, 7, no. And the 3 sisters rotate and take care of him and her.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like it's awesome what they're doing. They're amazing. But I'm like, I just, it's like, if we're being honest here, it's a little bit of like guilt. Like I'm not doing enough, but I have my plate so full here in Dallas with obviously all the shit we're talking about. That it's just been hard. So one of my New Year's resolutions personally is to like figure out this situation a little better. How can I help him? How can I see him more? How can I be more involved? And I had the idea to, try to maybe find an organization here that knows about all of this and talk with them and maybe go from there.
That's awesome.
So that's something that I want to do personally.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Thanks. What about you?
I'm not really into like the whole January 1 reset. Like, a lot of people do dry January. We're definitely not dry. But I mean, I think I just try to like, like physical health and all that kind of stuff, that's something that's on my radar all the time. And I'm really not a big like resolution person, but my kids did ask me, and I was like, I think like my biggest thing I want to do, and it's been something like 2 years in the making, is the whole Spanish thing. Like I took this online course that was like 150 hours. Like I completed it. I was so excited to go to spring training in 2020 so I could like practice my Spanish on all the guys, like be ready and have some conversations. And then that didn't happen. And then we didn't have it again. I mean, I haven't been in the clubhouse because of COVID. And so I just haven't had that chance to like really practice it. Yeah. It's something one of my like bucket list items is to do an interview in Spanish with a Spanish speaking player where I translate it. Like post game interview. Oh, he can't do it because he doesn't speak Spanish or speak English. I
love that.
And I say, no, I got this. I will ask the questions in Spanish. He will answer the questions in Spanish, and I will translate.
Yeah.
That my girlfriend, Sophia Miniart, who does what I do for the Brewers, and then also my girlfriend, Alana Rizzo, who does, or used to do what I do for the Dodgers. Both of them have done these, interviews. And granted, both, like Sophia's Puerto Rican, Costa Rican, Puerto Rican. Oh gosh, why am I?
Probably Puerto Rican.
No, I think it's Costa Rica. Oh. So she grew up in a Spanish speaking house. Same way with Alana. Alana's Cuban. Okay. And so she grew up in a Spanish speaking house. So they're always like, cut yourself some slack, Emily.
Right. They were right.
But still, it's still impressive for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so I've always been like, bucket list.
You're like, these guys, this is what I'm seeing is happening. How can I adapt?
Yeah.
And like,
like old dog, new trick is
but you can
tough.
do it.
But
anyway, you have a background, you've taken
I really want to. Yeah. I really want to.
Good for you.
Quiero hablar español más.
I want more Spanish.
Sí. Quiero
I don't know, something like that.
Sí.
Yes, the conjugating is always what has held me up. Conjugation so hard.
So ridiculous.
Yes, it's so hard.
And people are like, English is the hardest language. So I'm like, fuck that. Like the conjugation in Spanish is so effing hard.
Yeah, I took it in college because my sign language did not translate. I took sign language in high school as like it was like, I heard.
That's cool.
I heard that it was like the easiest one and you could get good grades and it was like kind of fun. And I was like, hell yeah. So I did that. And
Not the case.
I'm like, no, it was. It was. But the colleges know about that too. And they didn't accept it as a language. So they were like, that's cool. Sign language, fun trick. How about Spanish? And so I started from scratch. So I was in Spanish with a lot of people who had already taken it, but didn't have enough credits to for it to transfer over to university. So I was like the dumbass in the class. Everybody knew it. And I still have like problems from that.
So I minored in Spanish.
Okay, well that's good. I minored in English.
Right. But
I took the easy route.
You would... I think there's a little more involved in just more than just speaking. But yeah, I minored in Spanish and I really can't. I mean, I can speak it some, but they always say like, if you don't put it into practice, you're not gonna.
And that's why you go to Mexico so often.
No shit. I would That's why I go to Mexico so often. But if I would have I think if I would have gone to Mexico for like 6 weeks, and did a study abroad or whatever in college, maybe it might have stuck a little more. But it didn't, and I didn't. And
well, here you are. You're trying.
Okay, so we need to wrap up.
We
do have so much still to discuss.
I know. My quick it's not a death story, but it's a goal.
Okay.
Well, I was tweeting about my kids' funny things they were saying because we hadn't had any shows, and this just reminded me of the other one. I asked Ryder, I was like, I'm going to be a good mom, and we're going to talk about his goals.
Oh, okay.
And so I asked Ryder after the New Year, I said, what are your goals? And he said, top cheese. That's cheese. A goal. That's a way that you score a goal in hockey.
Oh, okay.
Top cheese. He thought I was asking
like when you go top shelf or
yes.
Okay.
Top shelf. Top cheese is like like when you pick a corner or whatever, you'll hear a Razor be like, oh, and he went top cheese. And so Ryder knew that. And so I said, what are your goals? And he thought goals.
Very literal.
In hockey. He said, well, I'm going to do top cheese this year. I was like, hell yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I taught my kids about the menstrual cycle over the holidays. Well, so we could talk about that in our next show.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 next week.
I know. Like my girlfriend Lisa's always like, Hattie will bring something up and she's like, well, we don't really talk about that at our house because your mom's a little progressive.
Wait, who says that?
Lisa, my best girlfriend. And so because we've already talked about hysterectomy. Like we've talked
yeah.
about boob jobs and hysterectomies and, how they were born, C-sections. And anyway, the menstrual cycle came up and
that's a tough one to explain.
It is.
I still don't understand.
And I answered the questions that they had. But anyway, it does. Like Lisa will always be like, Hattie will hit her with, she'll be at the house and Hattie will hit her with something about,
right. Like
C-section scars or I don't know, whatever it is. And Lisa will be like, your mom's so progressive in her parenting.
And then Hattie's like, well, what the hell is progressive?
Right.
Like, what?
It so cracks me up. She's like, can you just tap the brakes on some of the shit you're talking about?
Well,
sorry.
It's real life.
It is. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm like, hey kids, sit down. Let's talk about periods. But like, if they ask me, I'm gonna answer.
Did you have to explain the menstrual cycle because of some things that you're going through?
No, hot flashes?
Yeah.
No, I can't. I hate to say it. I think it's the ticket. I think they heard something on the ticket and then they start asking questions.
Oh yeah, they like to talk about
period
stuff.
I know.
I mean, yeah.
And anyway,
weirdos.
Anyway, we'll save that for next week's show.
Tune in next week.
Which
Emily's
we may have
stories.
a guest, but I kind of think we need to come back in.
I know. It'll
and
be
we
fine.
need to talk sports, and there's so many
Cowboys
things
are
we
about
need to
to start
talk
the
about.
playoffs.
I know.
Maybe
we'll have like a short guest, like that can enlighten us on something, and then
or if not, like the cool thing is,
then we'll just
we're in
drink.
charge, so
Again,
we don't want to guess. We
are
don't
in
have
charge.
to have a guest.
Damn it! All right,
we got a lot of shit to talk about.
We got to go. We do. Okay,
we do have to go.
Cheers. I can't reach.
Thank y'all
anymore.
for beginning the new year with us.
Happy 2022.
We're excited about all the fun stuff on the way with the mom game.
Holler at us if you have some ideas.
Yeah, general.
Want me to teach you about
Vague.
periods?
Vague.
Okay. All right. This has been fun. Literally a half a glass of wine and we're like, woo!
It's fun. We're back, bitches.
We're back, bitches.
Let's do our piece.
Okay.
And let's cut to black.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Mom game out. We're back, bitches. What is wrong with you?